Maybe. All right, so we're going to chat regulating your nervous system. And like I was just saying, this is something that I feel so deeply about because I feel like I have walked this pretty much since I realized how powerful my nervous system was. Put in the chat if you feel like, holy smokes, I need this class. Like, I need this info because it is truly, it can change your life because there's so much that we don't even realize about our nervous systems. And healing and regulating your nervous system is going to make you feel better, think more clearly, handle life with more ease, obviously. And I feel like there's so many things that our nervous system has to do with, from our sleep, mood, anxiety, all of this stuff, you guys, and even feeling out of control of your own emotions. How many of you guys sometimes feel like I can't control my emotions and I can't control my thoughts? That is like not a place that you ever want to be or ever want to feel like. And sometimes I've been there, put in the chat too, drop an emoji, type yes. If you've ever been completely overwhelmed by your emotions, the thoughts that you have in your brain that maybe are not even welcome in your brain. I've also been there, like thoughts where you're like in the middle of the night Googling on WebMD about something crazy town, and you're like, wait a minute, why does my brain even go there? Right? Like, why do our brains go there? That we're gonna dive into that, okay? And also just know that like you might be feeling tired, stressed, anxious, or just trying to get through the day without feeling burnt out. And if that is you, you are in the right place. Like we are going to tackle this together. And please know that like this is a safe place. So as I'm asking you guys these things in the chat or whatever it is, just know that this is a safe place for learning and growing and letting go of the idea that we have to do every single thing perfectly. I feel like the idea that we have to do every single thing perfectly is no good for our nervous systems. So we're going to chat like practical tools. I'm going to give you oils that will help. I'm going to give you other practices that will help. I'm going to give you supplements that are going to help, a lot of things, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. We could go so in depth on the nervous system, but I am going to try to help you move from like a place of stress into a place of peace more often and doing it naturally. Because anytime you come to a Western medicine practice or anything, the first thing they're going to do is not ask you very many questions. They're going to give you an anxiety medication right out of the gate. Like it'll be a 20-minute visit and they're not going to talk about it and they're not going to talk about the side effects of those things. And sometimes they can make things worse. And sometimes there's a root cause that you can start to tackle on your own. I'm not shaming Western medicine and medication if you need it. However, I think 98% of the time you don't need it. So if you are someone who does need it, please know you can use these tools in conjunction with whatever it is that you need that makes you function at your best. Okay. So no shame in any of that. So I'm going to chat really quick. Oh my gosh, you're moving overseas next year. Those, yes. Brianna knows you guys should connect. Those moves are stressful. Okay. Why our nervous system regulation really matters. So our emotions are very closely linked to our physical bodies. And I feel like this is my biggest problem with Western medicine, if I'm being very honest, is that it doesn't take into account the body as a whole. And sometimes we can have traumas in our life. If you put in the chat, type yes, you don't have to put what trauma it is. But if you've ever felt your stomach just drop from anxiety, or your heartbeat faster with worry or fear or anxiety, or you any kind of things like that. Like if you have anxiety, my anxiety at times will make me dizzy because I'm unconsciously, like subconsciously, I'm holding my breath. Like I'm holding my breath and then I'm like, I'm dizzy, but I'm not dizzy because there's anything wrong with me. I'm dizzy because I'm holding my breath, right? Like in your normal mind, you're like, this makes no sense, right? And same with Googling the things that you look up on WebMD. You wake up in the morning and you're like, girl, that was nuts. What were you even doing, right? But it seems very real in those moments. And that is because our bodies don't forget those times where we have felt fear or our stomach has dropped. Our Our bodies do not forget that. Like even the things we want to stuff, we want to get rid of them. We don't want to feel them. We just want to keep on moving. And if you are a mother on this call, you are really, really good at stuffing and keeping moving. You are really, really good at just keeping the ball rolling, regardless of what's going on around you. The sky could be falling, and you're gonna keep the ship afloat, right? Yeah, gotta keep on keeping on until we can't keep on anymore. And then what happens when we suppress these things or we don't regulate our nervous systems? How many of you guys get super, super, yes, just keep saying, smiling and saying you're fine. How many of you guys get super overstimulated by light or by noise? How many of you guys drive in the car in dead silence? If there's no one with you, are you in dead silence? Because same, I am no radio, no nothing. Like most of the time, there's nothing. Yes, noise, lights. Um, I will be super vulnerable and tell you guys that there was a time in my life and it wasn't very long ago, we had like a traumatic event happen, and then we basically all kind of had like a near death miss, which is super scary. And I could not hear a cabinet close without jumping and feeling startled immediately, which is just wild, right? Like it was just it would send me. It would make the stomach drop, make you have like sweaty pits, all the things, right? And that isn't like a normal response. That told me, whoa, my nervous system is a little bit, needs some love. It needs some love right now. So at any given time, you are in three places within your nervous system. Number one, the ventral, or AKA the right amount of energy, your parasympathetic. This is where you want to kind of be. It's a place of peace. We feel grounded. We feel calm. We're able to give and receive connection to others. This is a big one. How many of you guys get overstimulated by noise or anything else and you're like, I'm done, check out, and you disassociate? Maybe it's not in an intentional way, but you disassociate with your kids, you disassociate with maybe it's your spouse or the people around you, and you tend to just go inward and you don't want to have anything to do with because you've reached your max, right? You've reached your max and you're done. So when we are in that right state of our parasympathetic, our rest and digest, that ventral energy state, you are able to connect and receive connection as well. How many of you guys are also you get touched out? That whole, like, I feel like I could put it in quotes, touched out as moms can be. You get touched out and you can't receive that connection because you're done, you're overloaded. Okay, so that's the first place we can be. We can also be in the sympathetic, aka too much energy. We are hyperactive, we are frustrated, we're angry, we're yelling, we're anxious, we're panicky, we're like cabinet doors are slamming, and it's like you feel exhausted, but you're also wired. You're tired, but you're wired. How many of you are like, oh, yep, feel that. The tired but wired. You're tired, but you can't sleep. You're tired, but you're like, go, 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 go. That is tired but wired. Yeah. This one for me more. Okay. And then the other one is dorsal. So this is where you're drained. You're like flatlined, shut down, closed off, depressed, anxious, zoned out, numbed, hopeless, and super sluggish. Like you might have a ton of brain fog, just super unmotivated to really do anything, and super unmotivated to even make those connections with people that you love. And what happens sometimes with this that I've noticed within myself, and you guys can put in the chat if you've ever felt this, you start to feel very guilty. You start to feel very guilty for that exact thing, for being, zoned out, numbed out, like you're done, you're overstimulated, and then you go back into hyperactive, frustrated, angry, anxious. Yes, you can combine more than one for sure. And you can cycle through them. You can cycle through them all the time. So when our nervous system is dysregulated, we get stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. How many of you guys have heard these? Like it's like nervous system things I feel like are a really big deal right now. Yes, so true. Okay, Haley, also, how many times do you go, 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 go until you're like, woof, done, and you need like an actual weekend to recover, right? So your nervous system might be dysregulated if Type in the chat or drop an emoji if you have any of these. Racing thoughts, tension or tightness in your body. My chiropractor always can tell. I just was there today. She did a little, it's called Graston therapy on my tight spots here. Um, Digestive issues, mood swings, depression or anxiety, trouble sleeping, or feeling numb or detached. All of those things, there's probably a laundry list that's longer about all of the symptoms of a dysregulated nervous system, but I feel like we've covered quite a lot. Yeah, super tense, anxious, yes. It's almost like if you're driving and it's like any little thing, it's that you overreact to pretty much anything. So our goal is to spend as much time in that calm ventral energy, but past trauma and pain can hijack this, right? And send us down the spiral. And it could be anything. It could be like you're doing really well for a while, and then one thing happens and you feel unsafe, and your body your body, like I said earlier, it doesn't forget that. Your body remembers as it's unsafe. And this can be something from literal years and years ago, and one tiny thing can trigger a past trauma from a long time ago. And as we're talking about trauma, I want to just say, like, we think of trauma as like big T traumas, like car accidents, the death of a family member. Put some other big T traumas in there. Like maybe you had a chronic disease or you survived something that was supposed to be, unsurvivable, whatever that is, an accident. Um, it could be anything, you guys, but I want you to know that your body literally does not know the difference between someone in your family dying in a car accident and someone in second grade that told you you're dumb and your shirt is ugly and that wrecked you. And that, like, our body does not understand the difference between those two things. All we know in our body is that neither of those things felt safe, that neither of those things felt okay in our bodies. And that's what our bodies remember. And all of those things, we stuff them, we stuff them, we stuff them. And if we don't process them and regulate our nervous systems, then these things accumulate in our bodies. And that's when disease can set in. I don't know how many of you guys have looked into cancer a lot, but their emotional cause of cancer is pretty common and pretty high. I remember seeing years and years ago, they used to say that stress will be the thing that kills most people. And it's not necessarily the stress, it's the dysregulated nervous system and never ever feeling safe. Never ever feeling safe, because when we are not safe, we cannot rest and digest. So our goal is to support that side of things, the rest and digest system. That's where we want to live. We want to live in that parasympathetic nervous system. And listen, I want you guys to know that your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, is not necessarily all bad. Truthfully, we need it. It keeps us alive. That is something that we all need, but we want to get to rest and digest. We do that with intentional habits, supplements, self-care things that truly can transform like your mind, body, and your spirit, all of it. And it is all just a whole. So we're going to chat what dysregulates our nervous system. And as we do this, I want you guys to know, like, you are not broken. You're just in survival mode. And sometimes, and I felt this 1,000%, when you are in survival mode, you feel like you're broken. Yes, amen. Like if you are in survival mode, you feel truly like you are broken, like you are not sure how you are going to get out of whatever that is or break that cycle, right? And maybe even you feel like you have panic attacks and they come out of nowhere. I've also felt that. And you feel like, what in the actual world is wrong with me? Yeah, broken and exhausted. And those things, please know, you are not broken. You are just in survival mode and you can work through this. So here's what throws us off. All right. And then we're going to chat how to get back on track. Chronic stress. Your body stays in fight or flight for too long. It stops knowing how to relax. This is a constant state of like on alert. It drains your energy, it's disrupting your sleep, your digestion, your hormones, and keeps your nervous system on edge. The reason why chronic stress is disrupting your hormones, and this is like a magical piece of why Progessence Plus works, is that when we are in a chronic stress state, our bodies, because fight or flight, like I just said, is not it's not a bad thing. It keeps you alive. You have to have it, right? So when we have chronic stress, our body works extra hard to make cortisol, and we need more cortisol. So something happens in our hormones. We have this tree of hormones, and estrogen and all the DHEA, estradiol things are happening over here. And over here is our cholesterol, our cortisol, our progesterone, our pregnenolone, all of these things. What happens is our body is using so much energy to produce cortisol to keep us alive that something happens called the pregnenolone steal. Basically, your body is stealing progesterone to make more cortisol. So your progesterone is extremely low. I want you to think of a friend, maybe yourself, someone you know that has a very high stress job that is struggling with fertility. They are unable to get pregnant. They have a very high stress life, a high stress situation. This is the reason, most likely, the reason why is because their high stress, high cortisol is stealing from their progesterone. They have no idea that this is happening, so their progesterone is low, and they may be stuck in a cycle of either low libido, they're miscarrying often, all of these things, right? Our sleep becomes disrupted. Progesterone is amazing for sleep. All of those things happen. So that is why it is super important that we are, number one, taking care of our hormones, but also using the tools that we have to down regulate and handle our chronic stress. Okay. So another thing that happens, processed food and blood sugar spikes. How many of you guys don't think 1 millisecond about spiking your blood sugar when you eat junk food? This is something that I feel like we all should talk about so much more. Highly processed food and sugary snacks cause quick sugar highs and then crashes. So this creates like a roller coaster of energy. And what's happening on the inside of you, though, is a roller coaster of stress signals. It is telling your body, I'm stressed, I'm not stressed, I'm stressed. So it makes your nervous system feel super unbalanced. Like your body doesn't actually know how to get into balance because it's constantly been given like this and then that. And especially if you are skipping meals and then you're eating processed food, it's like, okay, wait, now we're starving. Now we have all this sugar and you're confusing your body with those blood sugar spikes and drops. Okay, then dehydration and mineral loss. How many of you guys are like, I need to drink more water? You tell yourself this all the time. Your nervous system needs water and it needs key minerals like sodium, magnesium, potassium to function properly. This is a big, big one. When you're dehydrated or lacking these minerals, often from too much coffee depletes minerals, stress depletes minerals, poor diet depletes minerals, your body feels anxious, jittery, and foggy. And when we are stressed, we blow through minerals. We blow through minerals, and we can also actually draw calcium from your bones and then deposit it into your arteries. Stress is a big thing. So when we're talking about all of this, you need to have those minerals. If you are feeling stressed, up your minerals because your body is just blowing through them to just stay in that fight or flight mode, right? Um, and then a quick note on fertility. When you're in fight or flight all the time, carrying a life and having a normal hormonal female cycle is extra. That is not essential to life. So your body will shut down those things first. If it truly feels a threat, which, like I said, doesn't matter if it's big T trauma or little T trauma, if it truly feels a threat, you're not going to have those normal hormonal functions and fertility because those things are extra. It's like the body is thinking, hey, I got to keep us alive over here. I can't worry about doing all those extra things. So that's why you see that trickle down effect on other parts of our bodies. Okay, the next thing, lack of safety in a routine or environment. Your system, your nervous system is always scanning for safety. And if your daily life feels unpredictable, overwhelming, or emotionally unsafe, even in subtle ways, I'm not saying you need to be in a dangerous situation for what we feel like as danger, right? Like our body, again, it doesn't understand that someone just closed the cabinet or someone is having an actual emergency, right? Your body doesn't understand, doesn't know the difference between someone slamming a cabinet and someone having an emergency if your nervous system is dysregulated. So even if you feel overwhelmed or emotionally unsafe in subtle, tiny ways, it can keep you in that state of stress, which how many of you guys feel that? How many of you guys have been in a situation where you're like, yep, I was on edge the whole time. I feel like something that I can relate to this is driving. I do not like traffic. I do not like city traffic at all. I feel like the second I'm in city traffic, it's like boom, I'm stressed until I'm out of the car and we all lived and everything's fine. And it's one of those situations that I have oils for all of the time. Okay, the next thing is emotional trauma, unprocessed emotional pain. Even from years ago, we talked about this. Like if it is little t trauma, someone called you dumb in elementary school, someone said that you were ugly, your shirt was the wrong color, you didn't read well, maybe whatever that is, okay? We could go back to so many times, okay? Those things are not perceived by the body any differently than a significant car accident, the loss of a family member, anything like that. Our body stores it the same. Any trauma. If you lived through 2020, I also want you to know that trauma is not always fast. We think that trauma is sometimes super acute and it happens instantly, and it's a trauma, right? If you went through 2020 and we watched the news, we read the articles of like kids not being able to go to school. Maybe your kids couldn't go to school. People couldn't see their loved ones in the hospital. They had to stand outside. Everyone had to have a mask on. Like there was all these things. That was a very slow trauma. And most of us probably have a sense of anxiety or fear post COVID than we had prior to COVID for various reasons. Maybe you lost your job. It could be so many different things, right? So trauma is not always acute and it's not super fast all the time. But either way, this can impact how your nervous system is reacting to everyday situations. People that have absolutely no idea about your past could interact with you today and you could react in a way that has nothing to do with the current situation at all. That person, like what's going on today, your circumstances, it could be because you're holding on to something from years and years ago and you are overreacting or shutting down or feeling stuck in patterns that don't really serve you. So to give you these exercises, and you don't have to do these right now. Just like write these down so you can think about them. What does it look like for you to be in a calm, safe energy? What does that look like for you to be in that parasympathetic energy? What does that look like for you? How does it feel emotionally, physically? I always used to describe this as like peace. And I always used to tell my husband that peace is not just like a feeling, it's like a place where you can be. And if you've ever like, I feel like some of you are gonna get this. Okay, so the next one is what about frantic, heightened energy? What does that sympathetic nervous system feel like? What does it feel like when you are going, like when you shut down, when you are touched out, when you do get to that point that you're like, okay, the lights need to go off, nobody make any noise, nobody touch me, I'm done. When you get to that point, right? What does that feel like? Write those things down. And this will help you identify what state of your nervous system you're in and what your triggers are for like activation. We talked already about noise. Yeah, Jamie, that's funny. 'Cause like one of my sisters actually literally goes and sits in the field. Like she literally goes and she sits on the top of a hill in a field, like when she needs a minute. That's exactly what she does. Um, and I feel like getting in nature is it's a huge nervous system regulator. Okay, So I'm going to give you these two books that I actually really love. If you are like, okay, I need to dive into this, this one, The Body Keeps the Score, might be one of the best books I've ever read, ever, ever, ever. It is so, so good. It will explain exactly why your body does the things and how dis-ease will set in if you are not processing those emotions. And if you are stuffing them, we talked about how we are all real good about stuffing emotions and just keeping the ball rolling. We just keep on keeping on, right? Because that's what we do. We can't feel that right now. We don't get all in our feels about that. And then the other one, this one is the trauma or The Body Keeps the Score. This is Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. This is an insanely great book. You can listen to it on Audible. It's not a short book, but it's absolutely incredible. It will explain your body in ways that make so much sense. And I have yet to read a book that I love so much about trauma and emotions that's better than that. But this one is pretty good. This one is called Truth Drops. I really, really, really suggest that you guys go through this, especially if your nervous system or handling emotions is something that you need to do. This book goes through a scriptural protocol for releasing your past with essential oils. I want you guys to like know that you can truly retrain your brain and almost like retrain what your body feels like is the scent of danger. You can go through the practices in this book, this Truth Drops, and retrain your brain to release those traumas. It's really super, super incredible. Okay, so now we're going to talk about things that help, that regulate your nervous system. Foods and minerals, for sure. What you eat directly impacts how calm and balanced you feel. Blood sugar balance equals nervous system safety. How many of you guys have ever fasted before? I actually just fasted, so I'm going to use this example. Sometimes you get super hungry and then you start to question absolutely everything. And that like fasting state, this is also why I'm not a super huge proponent of fasting often or intermittent fasting. It's not my jam. And the reason why is because it dysregulates your nervous system, causes you to blow through more minerals, raises your cortisol because it's stealing progesterone to raise your cortisol. And for women and hormones, it's just a real hard cycle to break out of. And it's all based in blood sugar, right? When your blood sugar is stable, your body feels safe. That means fewer mood swings. That means less anxiety. That means more energy. We talked about those peaks and valleys of blood sugar and how you want to avoid those with processed food and all of those things. You want to eat fiber every 3 to 4 hours. You want to eat like good phytonutrients from fruits, from greens, from plants. All those phytonutrients are so good for your nervous system. Obviously, protein, healthy fats, avocados, fiber, all of those things you want to be actually eating. If we are not eating or we're skipping meals, I feel like I've talked about moms a lot so far. If you're not a mother, I apologize, but I feel like as moms, we do a lot of these things that create a perfect storm for our nervous system to be not regulated. We stuff our emotions because we're busy, because we just need to keep the ship sailing, right? And then we eat half a chicken nugget or whatever it is for lunch, and we're not adequately nourishing our bodies or taking care of our hormones or anything like that. So here's my top nutrients for nervous system support. Number one, 1000% number one, magnesium. Magnesium, magnesium, magnesium. Take a lot of magnesium. Magnesium helps calm your body. It reduces tension and supports deep sleep. It is found in mineral essence. Obviously, there's magnesium in leafy greens, pumpkin seeds. This one will make a lot of people happy. And dark chocolate. There is magnesium in dark chocolate. For more magnesium, try the super magnesium supplement. I take magnesium twice a day and I take mineral essence. So I take the magnesium supplement morning and night, and then I take a trace mineral supplement, mineral essence as well. And then I take another like trace minerals in a capsule all the time, every day. I take a lot of minerals because they are super important to pretty much everything that you do. Um, Yeah, Jamie just said it took me a year of taking super magnesium mineral essence and extra doses before I started feeling good again. 100%. I would definitely dose until like, I mean, you'll have some stomach, like you'll have enough magnesium will make you have loose stools if you have enough or too much. Sometimes it'll do it just based on like what you're eating, but not always. It shouldn't be a regular thing. I would back up on the magnesium if that is the case. I love magnesiums, Young Living's magnesium. I feel like it's a great quality. The next one is omega 3s. Omega 3s in your brain and your nervous system is so super important. Omega 3s reduce inflammation and support your brain and nerve health. They're also great for neurotransmitters. Think serotonin, dopamine, all of those things. We need those. Get them from you in your food. You can get them from chia seeds, walnuts, flax, and wild caught fish. In my opinion, no one eats enough of those things to adequately get the amount of omega 3s that your brain needs. So you have to be supplementing. These are supplements that are non-negotiables for me. I take them every single day because these are things that my body is actually using up every single day. And I am not a super big proponent either of taking a ton of supplements for a significant amount of time for no reason. But these are like the foundational things that your body does not store well because we use them up a lot and we rarely have enough. So these are non-negotiables for me in our house. Okay. And then B vitamins. B vitamins, you guys, if you are not taking Super B, it will change your life. Crucial for energy, mood, and nervous system repair. We have to have nervous system repair and we have to have B vitamins for our gut as well. B vitamins are actually really imperative to our gut health, but serotonin, the happy hormone, is actually produced in your gut and not in your brain. So, again, gut health, brain, that gut brain axis is really tied together. And what happens is if we don't have B vitamins in our gut, there's something called basically it's that stress loop of the gut brain axis. So your gut, if it is low in B vitamins, is going to say, uh-oh, we're stressed. Or it's got processed food, or it's got like a bad bacteria overgrowth from antibiotics or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. It could be anything. It could be birth control does this to your gut, dysregulates your gut. So it can say your gut's like, okay, brain, we're stressed. And then what happens is when that gets to your brain is like, uh-oh, our gut is stressed, our whole body is stressed. So then when your brain says, whole body, we're stressed, it goes and it says to your gut, oh no, we're stressed. So how many of you guys when you get nervous, you have digestive issues? It's because your brain and your gut are so connected, and B vitamins are so important for both. Okay, the next one, trace minerals. Tiny, tiny trace minerals, but they are so important. They support hydration, which we talked about. If you are the least bit dehydrated, your anxiety is going to be higher, your nervous system is going to be dysregulated. It helps with nerve signaling and hormone balance. Look for unrefined salt. Ningxia Red has a great amount of trace minerals in it. Mineral-rich supplements like Mineral Essence are incredible tools for this. I'm going to give you a really quick, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in the chat really fast. These are like some like easy snacks that are great for regulating your nervous system. Foods that help you to regulate your nervous system in a balanced way, which I feel like is super important. Sometimes we want to grab a snack and we grab like a bag of chips and it does nothing for our bodies whatsoever. Okay, so hydration. We talked about that for a second, but think of hydration as grounding, hydration as calm. Your body cannot stay calm or respond to stress if it's running on empty. It just cannot. Dehydration heightens your anxiety, even mild hydration can make you feel more tense, irritable, and foggy. I feel like, guys, this is something that I feel like as parents, we all should pay attention to. When your kids are throwing fits, particularly toddlers or kids like not in their teenage years, I'm going to give you this tip. They might be hungry. They might be undernourished and they might be dehydrated. So before you are super quick to say, oh, I need to discipline this behavior because X, Y, Z, whatever, guys, make sure they have had food. Make sure they have had water because, yes, Leah, all the time they need protein. This is something that I feel like I notice with my kids all the time. If I'm starting to see some behavior things, I'm like, okay, let's have a snack. And 9 times out of 10, it solves our behavior problems. Not because it's a distraction, but kids don't know how to say, I'm hungry. Kids don't know how to say, I'm dehydrated. I haven't had enough food. I haven't had enough water today. So I think that that's something we really, really need to like be paying attention to as for ourselves, but also for our kids, because our kiddos can have dysregulated nervous systems just like us, and often they do. Think of sometimes how like we shut down, right? We shut down and we're in that like checked out, no connection. But think of your kids when they are overstimulated. They are frantic with energy. They're bouncing off the walls. They're way, way, way in that, like, way in that sympathetic area of like tons of energy, just kind of like running around like a crazy person, right? That is a dysregulated nervous system. But sometimes we're like, you just need to calm down. You just need to sit down. But we're not giving them the tools to actually regulate their nervous system because they can't control it on their own. Your body keeps the score, and your body has to tell your nervous system, hey, we're safe. You can regulate, right? So there's things we can do to help. Okay, so practical tips. Add minerals to your water. Minerals can actually help your body use the water that you are drinking. So think electrolytes, add those to your water. It helps your body and your cells absorb that water that you're drinking. You can use high quality salt. I like the mineral essence drops. I like the electrolyte drops. I love them. I think they're so, so good. And you can put those in Ningxia too. Coconut water. I love coconut water. You can mix it with something. Uh, Pro tip, coconut water should actually be pink. I don't know if you know this, but it should actually be pink. And if it's not, it has been way overly processed. Okay, this is a good morning habit. Warm lemon water. You can use lemon or you can use uh,
Okay,
lemon,
sorry.
like you can use lemon essential oil in warm water with a dropper of mineral essence as a simple way to nourish your nervous system. I feel like warm lemon water is, I almost crave it. I remember when I first started drinking it, I was like, this is not good. I really don't want to drink this. This is not how I really want to start my day. But it is so good for your body. And when you start to like do those things, you'll start to want to do more of them when they are good for you. Okay, here's an adrenal cocktail. When we're super stressed, our adrenals get super stressed out. Nutmeg's amazing for your adrenals. So is Endoflex. It's so great for you. But if you need additional adrenal help, you can mix 4 ounces of Ningxia with coconut water. Just put some coconut water in there. Coconut water is also a really great source of potassium, which is also one of those key things that we blow through when we tend to be stressed or be in that like fight or flight state. We go through a lot of potassium, and potassium is key for your heart. So it's kind of like that loop of like, okay, we're blowing through minerals. I'm stressed, but I'm anxious, and you're stressed. So you have no potassium. So you have heart palpitations, but you also have anxiety. And then you have heart palpitations. And then you have these intrusive thoughts that you're like, do I have a heart problem? That whole cycle, right? You have to have potassium. All of those things, they all play together. So once we start nourishing our bodies, then we're going to feel less stressed. We're going to feel more at peace, all of those things. So coconut water in there, golden turmeric, a little bit of lime juice or lime essential oil works, and mineral essence. All of those things are so, so great. Um, Rochelle, on the hunt for pink coconut water. Yeah, we get a really good one from Costco. So check your Costco or if you have like a Sam's Club. All right, I want you guys to grab an oil if you have one. I'm going to give you some things that you can do every day that will give your nervous system like something predictable, something that it can look forward to, a routine. I feel like this also goes back to kids. There's way less dysregulation when you have a routine, when your kids know what's coming. Your nervous system is exactly the same way. You want to create daily rhythms that reset your nervous system and give you a sense of calm. I love gratitude. Okay, perfect. All right, you're gonna put just how many of you guys have heard of box breathing? I used to think this was so dumb. Like, full transparency. I used to think like there is no way that this is gonna help me with anything that I'm feeling right now, but it actually does. The key is that you have to do it consistently, just like anything else. Like you need to get oils on your body, you need to do all these things, and you need to do it consistently. Okay, so I'm gonna be the counter for you guys, but I'll do the first part. So you want to I all the purple oils also. I feel like purple oils are like amazing for your nervous system. So you're going to breathe in for 4, add a couple drops, whatever it is. Breathe in for 4. Now I want you to hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're going to exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's pretty hard to do that, isn't it? And then you start to realize, wow, my breaths are shallow. They're super shallow. I'm holding my breath more. I'm not allowing myself to fully breathe in and breathe out. Practicing those super slow, intentional breathing calms your stress response and activates your parasympathetic rest and digest system. Okay, the next one, vagus nerve massage. You guys, your vagus nerve is so important. There's so many things you can do about this, but gently rub behind your ears, like that little indent behind your ears, and kind of where your skull meets that like muscly part of your neck. You rub behind your ears like this, and if you can like kind of like rock your head back and forth, it's going to work a little better. And then just rub down your neck. And you can put oils on or not, but this helps your body shift into a relaxed state. If you do any of this and you yawn, that's actually a really good thing. If you yawn, it's a sign of your body shifting into that like deep reset, that nervous system parasympathetic reset. You can actually make yourself yawn. Like if you do the motions of yawning, or if you've ever gone to the chiropractor or done anything like this and then you yawned like all day, it's actually a really good thing. It's actually something that's helping your body to release pent up emotions, trauma, and helping your body stay in that rest and digest state. Okay, tapping. If you've ever been to our emotions and oils class, you've done tapping before. You can tap up here. Tapping in any place on your body. It's like right here, top of your head, by your eyes, and then like your shoulders, and then down in like your armpits. That is an amazing way to calm anxiety as well because what you're doing, yeah, I know, right, Abby? Like we've taught our kids tapping and it's been a game changer when they are feeling super anxious. Do the tapping and honestly, it works so super well. What you're doing is distracting your body. Another thing that I love is ice. If you guys are feeling panicky, ice works. Like get an ice pack and just set it on your chest and like kind of like rock back and forth. First of all, the rocking is going to like reset your brain. Like, okay, I am present where I'm at, and the ice gives you something to feel. That's like real right here. It gets you out of those thoughts in your head that are making you think like all of those panicky anxiety thoughts. Ice like kind of brings you back to right now. Another thing that I love, 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 you can walk, obviously walking, it's movement is the key here, you guys. But walking, stretching, dancing, shaking your arms, or truly just hitting them. Like if you just like slap your arms like this, I know it looks ridiculous, but if you slap your arms and then just shake them, stand up and shake them, You are helping to relax your body and change your state back into that parasympathetic nervous system. These things work. I don't know if Brittany's on this call, but we've talked about this. Like, how do you deal when you are feeling super anxious? Are you feeling like on edge, like, okay, I'm going to lose it? If that makes sense, you want to be using these tools. And also use them in conjunction with calming oils like lavender, frankincense, vetiver, or peace and calming. I want to tell you guys this. I was reading about this that valerian is one of the most intensely relaxing essential oils. It's in rutavala. It's also in sleepy eyes, but other ones that I feel like bring me back really quickly, peace and calming. Use any of these to like anchor your body, your breath, and shift to that parasympathetic state. You can apply them to your wrist, your neck, or diffuse them. The Calm Roller is incredible. I think it's still half off right now. If you don't have it, go get it. It's amazing. Other great habits that are going to help you heal and restore your nervous system, quality sleep. Quality sleep, if you don't have Deep Night Essence, get it. It has holy basil, it has lemon balm. Lemon balm is so calming to your nervous system. It is one of the most calming to your nervous system herbs that you can get, along with holy basil, and they are both in Deep Night Essence. So having that like rest and repair deep sleep is going to help so, so much. And then I feel like anytime you can make your environment happy, that promotes like connection. Think Joy. It's on sale right now. If you didn't get it, go get it before the sale ends tonight. Any happy diffuser blend really sets the tone for your entire day. I don't know about you guys, but when I start my diffuser and I get it going in the morning, first thing, our entire day goes so much better. It goes so much better. And then when I start the diffusers at night, I can help my kids to down regulate their nervous systems way before they actually get in bed. And it is such a game changer. Another one that I feel like I just can't like not tell you is nature and sunlight. Like get outside, even 10 minutes outside. I kick my kids outside every single day, even in the winter, because it is good for your body. Even 10 minutes, like I said, it'll lower your cortisol and elevate your mood. Your nature is the nervous system like superpower. There's such a reason why like you walk through your yard or you're in your garden or you go on a walk in the mountains, there's a reason why you feel better. It's because it's true. You actually do. There used to be hospitals used to be open air, like open air hallways, open air because nature was so integral to healing and we've lost that. So bring that back, like even in your home with plants, open your windows, get outside. My kids get annoyed with me because when they're sick, I make them sit outside. And sometimes I make them take their shirts off and sit outside. And they're like, oh, I do not want to do this, but it helps your body. Nature is healing to what your body is. It used to be way back, and still sometimes in some Asian cultures, when you're sick or you need healing from something, they send you literally to the forest. Like to the forest for like a nature bath. You need to be bathed in nature. And that is how, like, it's a part of their protocol of healing for multiple different things, which is wild, but it makes so much sense. Okay, other oils. Yes, that's why people are healthier in the summer. 1,000%. Yes, it's lack of sunshine season. Completely agree. Completely agree with that. Okay, so many things that we talked about. We did not talk about stress away. I feel like that's another one that is so super important. But we talked about, let's like walk through a quick day, okay? So in the morning, we talked about the lemon water, warm lemon water, diffusing something happy. It could be something energizing. And then you want to midday, obviously avoid the crash. You could apply your favorite oil, whatever it is, do your box breathing, drink your Ningxia, and get outside. Bonus points if you're drinking Ningxia outside. I feel like drinking Ningxia outside in the sun is my It's like my favorite thing. Like I look forward to it every day, and if it gets interrupted, I get a little bit crabby. Like I'm just like, hold on. I just need like 5 minutes to sit in the sunshine and drink my Ningxia, and then I can move on with my day. So apply those, and when you're thinking of like, where do I apply these oils for regulating my nervous system, for my emotions, think head, heart, hands. Head, heart, and hands. That's where you need them. Don't make it overcomplicated, but start to interrupt that stress cycle and remind yourself that your body is safe. Things that you can say when you're reminding your body that it's safe as you're going through this stuff, you can say, like, your body is not the enemy, it is your home. You are safe in this body. You are safe to slow down, to feel, to reconnect. There's no rush to your healing. You can move forward gently with care. One of my absolute favorite things that I tell myself all the time, like if I'm feeling anxious, I repeat in my head, and like obviously I'm getting oils on my body. I repeat in my head, He is for you. Like He is for you. He is not like against you. He is not like, if you are like you love the Lord, you know that God is not, anxiety, all of these thoughts are not of God. We can do, we can tell ourselves and remind ourselves, like, no, He is for me. He is not like bringing this to me, right? So think of those things like on repeat, on those things, like, and that's why I love, love, love this book. I love this book so, so much. And even this, I'll read you this scripture right here. She says, "Is anyone among you sick? Let him call for the elders of the church and pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord." Like she will tell you, that book is amazing. So if you need scriptures to say to help you feel safe, anchor yourself there. So then in the evening, obviously, we talked about Deep Night Essence, we talked about supporting your sleep, all of those things. If you feel, there are things you can do like acutely. I feel like one of those things that is not talked about very much at all for nervous system support is multigreens. If you're feeling extra stressed, take more multigreens. It contains Melissa. Melissa is lemon balm. Melissa is the essential oil from lemon balm, and it is super calming to your nervous system. So if you are feeling extra stress, take some extra multigreens. You can use those citrus oils to uplift you, all of those things, extra stress. You could do bergamot in the diffuser, which is great for your emotions and stress. Add more mineral essence. Don't be afraid to take more, especially if you are going through a season of stress. You can take more. Um, and then think of things that you can do, right? Like every day. What are 3 foods that ground you? Avocados, eggs, leafy greens, nuts are great. All of those things. We need to feel nourished, steadied, and energized. 3 oils that you love. Pick 3 and put them on every single day. Make sure that you are putting oils on morning, noon, and night. Like just do it when you take your supplements, do it when you're eating your meals. If you get oils on your body for consistently, and not just like when we have a sniffle or when I have a sore throat or whatever it is, put them on all the time. They're going to start to make such a difference in your emotions and your nervous system. Truly, it's one of the biggest differences that I've seen that you can use oils for daily that is going to be a game changer. I know a lot of people don't use oils on a daily basis, and I fully believe they should because they will start to see such a difference in how you interact with your kids and your spouse and just how you feel throughout the day. And then adopt like 3 practices that make you feel safe. Like it could be journaling. It could be intentionally hugging your family. Like if you do not stop and intentionally hug them often, deep breathing, stretching, getting outside, all the things. But I hope that this was super helpful for you guys. I feel like you have the tools now, and now you are ready to use them. We could talk so much about nervous system stuff, but I feel like this is a really like integral, everyone should be doing this regardless of where you're at in your health journey, your healing journey, wherever that's at. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this blessed you today, and we will see you the next time. And I want to hear all of your testimonies. try all of this and then bring your testimonies from doing these things to the call next week. And we'll see you there. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.